Hi everyone and welcome to this second preview stream for Imperator Rome. Awe everyone. I'm Rod, community manager for Imperator, and with me again, Johan, the game director. How are you doing, Johan?
Yeah, I'm pretty fine. It's a Tuesday afternoon and we're going to be playing Egypt in Imperator.
And this time we'll take it a bit slower. We've heard the feedback, so we're gonna kick it down a notch just so everyone gets everything that's going on the screen. In Babylon, 18 years ago, the Argead king Alexander died suddenly at the age of 32. In the 5 years preceding his death, his continuing military successes had reshaped the world as known to the Greeks, his empire stretching uninterrupted from Egypt to the Indus. The shock of Alexander's early death and his lack of a chosen successor sent shockwaves throughout the hierarchy of satraps and generals who attended him, splintering his empire into elements ruled by these potentates. Weird word. Sorry, I'm French. Styled as the
Diadochi, I think that's the word.
Diadochi?
Yeah, well, it's Greek originally, so I can't spell it.
For the many years, they and their successor have been locked in a bitter struggle over the future of the empire, drawing all nations within their sphere of influence into the conflicts. The wars of the Diadochi will surely continue. Perhaps it is up to Egypt to decide how they will end.
And Egypt, they're like one of the oldest countries in the world, and they have this interesting geographical position. You have the Nile, the green thing where most people live, and then there are deserts on the border. To the south, the Nile ends, and it's deserts and mountains to the south. To the east, you have deserts. You have a natural border here, the Sinai Desert, and up to the Palestines. You have deserts to the west, and to the north, it's the sea, giving it a really, really interesting position. Some of them have like names you recognize. We have Babylon here, and they have Memphis. You recognize those names?
Yeah, but Memphis, isn't that in Tennessee or something in the US?
it's named after this. This is one of the old capitals of Egypt.
Okay, cool. I can see that there are roads even there.
It's not just the Romans that have had roads. These are older roads, far older. They were built long before the first Roman ancestors escaped from the sacking of Troy.
Okay, so Romans do not have the monopoly on building roads. Okay.
More people can build roads. The Roman legions can build roads faster and better than anyone else, but most people can build the roads. Right. So let's go to Alexandria, which is the capital. It's a fairly new built city, built by Alexander. He actually didn't build the city himself. So Alexandria is one of those interesting places. It's a Greek city.
Okay.
You notice the graphics of the city buildings here look different than the ones here, because this is populated primarily by Macedonians, which is a Hellenistic culture group. The citizens are most of them Hellenic Macedonians, some Jewish Hebrews, and some Phoenicians. They're probably traders or something.
So citizens, so the population within cities have different cultural backgrounds. They don't have a single one.
Yeah, and different types. If you're looking here, this is a new thing that we haven't shown before, is that you can see at a quick glance, the citizens here are satisfied, they're kind of happy.
Okay.
The freemen are satisfied. The tribesmen are unhappy. They're not causing arrest, but they're unhappy.
Okay.
Not that there are any tribesmen here.
So there are none for now.
The slaves are unhappy as well, but...
Okay, so happiness, how does that impact the game?
If happiness is lower than 50%, the unrest is growing and they will be unhappy.
So if there's unrest, that means that could lead to potential revolts.
Yeah, civil wars or revolts. If you get a civil war, you'll split and you'll fight over this.
So it's not like in Europa Universalis. It's a completely different way.
Completely different.
Okay.
We'll get into that a little bit later.
Awesome.
But happiness also impacts how well the pops work.
Okay.
And you can make them happy with the different ways. You can get like different trade goods. Wine makes people happy.
Okay.
Access to food also makes people slightly happier.
Yeah, I mean, wine for sure. Food, it's good to have some in your belly.
So the user, they're not that happy because they're not Hellenistic in a Hellenistic country. So let's go back to Alexandria. You can see that we have here a special modifier there, because this Alexandria, unique, cool city, increases the civilization value.
Okay, nice.
There's 45 pops in Alexandria. That's quite a lot. That's a large city. But it's not even the largest city in the Western Delta. That's the Naucratis. Hermopolis Micra has 40. Yeah, there's a lot of people there.
Wow.
But Alexandria can grow further because there's a lot of grain here. We stacked grain to give like plus 30% population growth just from that trade goods. We also have access to fish that gives another plus 10% total.
Do you have any other trade goods that do that aside from grain and fish? Or
You have livestock as well. They can also give you a population growth. Let's go to the overview and look a bit about the country.
so here this is where you have like the main information about the country.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people in Egypt. It's a huge population. Lots and lots of different provinces here with lots of cities each, and the population numbers are absolutely staggering.
Oh wow, Memphis.
We want to pick national ideas
Okay.
because we have a nice bonus that are here, but
Okay.
we're not getting it because we don't have matching ideas.
Oh, so if you have matching ideas, you will unlock every single line of bonus that you have right there.
Yes,
Okay.
and that is shitloads of power
Oof.
of various types. So we really,
That's
really want
good.
that one.
That's really, really good.
We have 3 different slots here, 1 for military ideas and 2 for oratory. We can of course pick other ideas if we really want them, but then we're not getting this bonus. So we have to think about like, do we want the bonuses or not? And I'm going, yes, I want the bonuses.
Okay.
One interesting little strategic little thing here is that these bonuses that you're getting here, Egypt is a large country. We are a great power, so our government bonus is 200%.
200%.
So we're getting a small little nation would just get +1, +1, +1.
For those that don't know, in the game you will have different ranking system for powers, right? Going
Yeah.
from local power to
City-state, local power, regional power, major power, and great power.
awesome. Okay, and great power increases your diplomatic range also.
And we don't have time to explain every single thing today,
We'll cover
but
it later.
we'll know that people are going to take screenshots of this one and analyze it into detail.
There we go.
Let's pick a military one. We have 3 different ones available,
Okay.
others that can unlock later. We can get ordered retreat, which increases the reorganization cost. Because when you have fought a battle or taking losses
Yes.
or low morale, your manpower is going to slowly trickle back to your unit. It's far slower than in other games. So you have an ability where you can like focus this group to recover morale and manpower quicker.
Oh, nice. So,
But that one costs some power
all
on
right.
your unit to toggle on.
And this will draw from the pool of manpower that we have above
Yeah.
there at 86 at top of the screen.
Yeah.
So, okay.
We can have cheaper triremes, which is the ships. There's only basically one category of ships. It has a bunch of oars.
I was convinced that they were only Roman triremes.
No, the
Okay.
Greek triremes and everyone. Then you have morale of your armies. I'm gonna pick the morale one because I like that one.
So the morale is when you have a fight between 2 armies, you will lose morale. So your army will be more resilient.
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna look at the oratory ones. We can have one that decreases the corruption of all the characters in my country each month, which is good.
So the corruption is how does the corruption mechanic works in the game basically?
Corruption basically makes so that if people have a job from the state, they're gonna squeeze out more money from us, which is bad. And
God,
if
the
they-
mafia?
Not the mafia. They're just entitled people.
Jesus.
Then they also like squeeze out the local populace if they're governors, and you don't want your ruler to become corrupt because that has some other drawback. Because if the ruler turns corrupt, your power costs is going to increase in your country.
Okay.
So it's not really all that
Oof,
good.
you want to steer clear from that.
Military tradition cost. We talked about that in the last stream.
Yes, we did tackle it. And diplomatic relations +1.
Yeah, which means that we can ally with one more country or so, which is
Not
kind
too
of
bad.
like cool.
So we still have 2 slots of oratory power to get the bonus. Which one are you going to pick right there?
I'm picking the cheaper military tradition. Gonna save us a lot of military power.
Because they cost what, like 800, something
Yeah,
like
800, something
Yeah.
like that. And then it's like one more diplomatic relation or corruption. I'll go with the corruption because we're Egypt. We're a great power. We can already have a bunch of
Yeah, a bunch of diplomatic relations for sure.
So
I have a little question for you. Do you think we can have a scaling UI in Imperator?
yeah, that's the plan at least.
Well, that's good to know. There you go, chat. So
Yeah.
it's doable.
So let's take a look at the ruler, Ptolemy.
Okay.
Well, he's one of the generals, Alexander's friend. So all of those like that were Alexander's heirs or friends, they have this special blood that their children will inherit and grow up. His sons has a blood of Lagidae. This little baby is also blood of Lagidae.
A strong baby right there.
All of these bloods have different abilities. This one is like the wrong culture group happiness that gives you plus 15%, which means that the user will be happier with him.
Oh, so that's pretty cool. That's why actually the minorities that we have in our cities are fairly happy.
Yes.
Pretty nice.
We get a little bit more research, a little bit zeal, and of course people with that blood, they're more prominent. He's got some friends in other countries, this ruler as well. He's got Seleucus, the Basileus of the Seleucid Empire.
I never thought that Egypt would be a friend of the Seleucid.
He's a friend because these two guys fought that guy. He's the Basileus of Phrygia.
Okay.
Which is the...
And Basileus stands for, it's like king?
Yeah, Greek king. There's a lot of different interactions here you can do with this guy. You can actually force him to become a Kemetic religion instead of Hellenic if we ever wanted to.
Okay.
So let's take a look at the alerts at the top of the screen. We can have another trade route.
Okay.
So let's go and import some wood if we can. Because we want to have wood so we can build ships.
Oh, okay. So
because we have no access to ships. So we'll just import from our friends, the Seleucids. Our army has no leader. We can go back to that later when we do our starting strategy as Egypt.
Okay, no problem.
The Sosthenids, or whatever, they feel scorned.
Okay, so we have the Scorn family that we also saw in the first stream very briefly. There were more Scorn family within Rome's Republic, right?
Yes.
Here it's a bit more contained.
We'll settle that in a little bit.
Okay.
You can also say that because we have a general, we also have the thing that our rulers unmarried. We can solve the Scorned family thing with either of these. So let's go to the Scorned families and say the Sosthrid is probably...
These guys.
Yes. We can't marry either of them, but this is a tactician.
What's a tactician exactly?
Look at this guy. He is honest.
Good for him.
Humble.
Oh, wow. That kind of cliche.
Energetic.
Oh, yes.
But is also a really, really good commander.
So the little genius of the family, basically.
Yeah, it's just a bad commander.
Very bad commander indeed. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll...
What should we do about them? Should we do something?
We'll just ignore him because one family, he's not going to have any power base. So if we go to and marry our ruler, let's see if we find any females here. We can go to the maggots.
Not the maggots.
No, maggots.
Oh, maggots.
We'll marry her to the ruler.
Filthy maggots.
Well, you can also buy a bunch of inventions. You have different ones you can select from. There's no random picking. These ones are unlocked from the tech level. So each of them unlocks 3 new inventions.
Okay, so these guys are going to research more and more new innovations for us, and we will get to pick them.
Yeah.
Okay, and they cost 50 civic power.
Yeah, each.
Okay.
So when you're getting when you get the new civic advance, which depends on the skill of that guy, or martial advance, which depends on the skill of that guy.
All right.
The martial advances give us more morale.
Oh, nice.
The civic ones gives us more commerce income and cheaper wages, because wages go up all the time.
So that's good. That means more money for us because we're spending less on the person that are in charge of various things.
Oratory gives us +2 civilization level, each of them.
Pretty cool.
The religious ones, they give us higher power on our omens.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
And all of them give us 3 different inventions we can pick. So if we're going to this starting strategy of Egypt, we have these natural borders and we want to strengthen them. We don't want our army stuck in Alexandria all the time. So we're going to create a new unit. First of all, we take the camel cavalry. There's a lot of desert here where barbarians can come from.
Yep.
So move on to Ammon.
Okay.
We call this one that's what we call...
Oh, we can rename them. That's pretty nice.
We call this one the Western Stratus.
Okay. So camels, what do? Do they move fast? Do they have any edge against any...
Yeah, they're kind of faster than most units.
I can see that they are quite efficient against chariots, archer, and light infantry too. That's pretty nice.
Yes. So we put the leader there on these guys.
We don't need someone super powerful?
No, we just put the Sostheniid guy, so they will eventually be slightly more happy, that fine family.
So again, here you have light infantry and light cavalry that can move faster, right?
Yeah.
Am I correct? Cool.
We're putting this one is pretty loyal guy. Popular, is semi-competent. I don't want my ruler because I want my ruler to be in charge of the
main army.
Yes.
And so regarding loyalty here, the goal is to have generals that are always loyal to you, because if not, they're going to be against you, or what's going to happen there?
Yes, they can start civil wars if they become disloyal. So we're going to make it even better for this one. Because if we're looking here, we have a population spread out. It's a desert. Maun here is a place where I think would be a nice place for a lot of fortresses. So we're going to spend a lot of our power for which is basically a few years supply of power.
Okay.
And move the population. We're going to move all the slaves because it's cheap to move slaves. We'll move every slave we can
poor
find.
Slaves! They were just hanging there, man.
No, we're gonna have a larger population in Maun. You see Maun growing.
Oh,
there.
all right. The city is actually growing bigger as you move people around.
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty nifty.
We can move the tribesmen
too?
as well to Maun.
Will you suffer like any drawbacks from just emptying your provinces?
You get less research, less.
Oh, okay. So you still have to think carefully when you're emptying provinces.
Yes.
I guess that since it's Egypt and it's so large and big, you can afford just to.
Now we can build 2 buildings here because we're at 15 population.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And we're gonna build 2 fortresses. So we get the fortress here to block up.
And you can cumulate those fortresses.
Yes.
Pretty
higher
cool.
I want to have a fort here to block, so they have to go here and siege. Stack an army in Rafia so that whenever someone comes in here to siege, because they can't get past it, I'll just attack them.
Nice.
With an army that's full of light infantry and light cavalry, so they're not going to take that much of attrition. So I have a large army to just smack there.
Nice.
And then
Pretty cool.
if they get past this one, I'm putting this little place here as my huge fortress, which was basically where the Egyptians had the fortress historically.
So I guess the more fortresses you have, the more bonus you're gonna have there to defend that. To get that fort,
Yes.
they will have to spend more attrition and more units in order to try and get them. That's
Yes.
super interesting.
You mentioned loyalty earlier.
Yes, I did.
So you may have noticed here that we have something called disloyal characters in
Is it bad if I did not notice it before?
Malayager. How do you pronounce Malay?
Melega?
I
Melega
can't
Ladig?
pronounce anything. If it's not in Swedish, I can't even pronounce Swedish. He's a little bit disloyal. He's a pretender. He wants to become ruler because he's not the number one in the inheritance.
Huh.
There's some small portraits here that is kind of new. This is the support that he thinks that Ptolemy Corona should be ruler, and himself. He obviously thinks that he should be the ruler. So he's a
Egotistical
pretender. He's a jealous guy as well.
Can't we, like, assassinate him?
You can't assassinate people in your own country. You could try to bribe him
Ooh,
and make him more loyal. Let's do that. Yeah, he's a little bit more loyal, but
well, hopefully
not enough for him to go for someone
And
else.
can you bribe him like over and over again, or?
No, you can't bribe. You can only bribe someone once a year. So let's go to the government. Here's the monarchy things.
Oh wow, very different
Because,
from last week's stream.
So we have like the current ruler.
Okay.
The rule is always the same. You have the next heir.
Which is our son,
Yeah, and how the score he has for becoming that.
which is pretty good.
We have 8 different positions here. Oh, with nice tooltips to do, Team CD. So we have the successors. We have Ptolemy Caraunus. They're all Ptolemies. Yeah, he's not loyal, but he's the primary heir, so his loyalty is ticking up. He has the succession score of 100 because he's the first son of the ruler.
1,000, more like.
20 people in the country is currently supporting him. Obviously, it's the legit one. Or, well, he has support from 20 people who's not pretenders. This little kid, Philadelphus,
He's already pretending to be a kid. Wow, he's very arrogant for a kid.
he's also a pretender. He's kind of loyal. It just looks so funny that when we're processing stuff for a little 4-year-old.
Dad, I'm gonna be disloyal to you.
His name Philadelphus, so I think he's a Flyers fan. Nobody's supporting him.
And he's the problematic, egotistical imbecile that really wants to take our throne.
Yeah, but he's okayly loyal for now, but it's going to take a while.
Just because we send him pocket money.
And there are no supporters. But what's happening is like, if he has low loyalty when their old daddy Ptolemy out there dies, he's gonna be like, okay, I have money.
Okay.
I'm spending the money recruiting an army.
Uh-oh.
And so when a ruler dies in a monarchy, you will get the succession crisis. It's not a war that completely starts, but they will be building a power base, and he'll get supporters because he's going to spend money on someone to get friends, to get right, and people to like him more, and then he'll basically start
A civil war?
Civil war.
Oh, Jesus.
And you know why he's unhappy and he's a pretender?
Tell me. Let's see.
Obviously, he's jealous.
Oh,
But
that's why.
if you're 17-year-old and you have this hair,
You're the
obviously
brother.
he's jealous. He doesn't have the.
Oh,
This
come on.
bold-
Can't we just like smack the jealousy out of him? Boom, boom.
We
Two
could,
slaps in the face.
we could try that. You can read here and explain what
All right.
legitimacy is.
Legitimacy is an indication of how well regarded your ruling dynasty is. Positive legitimacy will increase the maximum loyalty of your characters from 50 up to 100. Negative legitimacy will cause all characters in your realm to lose loyalty on a monthly basis.
Our current legitimacy is at 100, gives us this nice bonus, plus 50 to max loyalty. The
Ooh,
attraction
nice.
for people on how they view the premier here is
So our
plus
oldest son.
Yes.
Nice.
So if we go to this little guy here, Archaeatros, you'll see that he has
Positive legitimacy plus 20%.
yes.
Pretty cool.
So that's why these guys, otherwise it would just be plus 32. And if this guy had been like, if this guy's loyalty had tanked and our legitimacy tanked, these guys would have gotten far more support.
Nice. That's pretty cool. And what's the number right there next to the legitimacy? That's
the next ruler's
Ooh.
legitimacy. Legitimacy changes whenever you get a new ruler. The base number is 60, then up to 20 if your religious unity is...
is pretty strong. So
Yeah.
the more your country has the same religion, the more your pops have the same religion, the bigger the bonus.
Yes. And then every single person that's supporting another pretender
Gives you a malus, and then you get
Yes.
-4.
And obviously these guys, they're preferring themselves as rulers, so they're impacting that one a little bit.
I
But
really wish
if
we
more
could kill
people
them.
start supporting them, we're going to be in trouble.
Aw.
If we tick forward now, let's
sure.
go speed 5 for a little bit so we can see what's happening. And, oh, we get an alliance offer from Cernica. Let's see where
Where are they,
Cernica
these
is.
guys?
That's the country on our border here. They're a desert. They have not much manpower. They're kind of like semi-poor
Nah.
cohorts.
8. I mean, they could make a nice buffer zone, right?
Yeah, I mean, we only have one ally, and we can have 5 because we're a great power.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, they were nice. They asked us. I mean, are we gonna want to march troops over here to conquer? I want the rich heartlands there. There's Phoenician cities there. They're rich.
Rich as hell. Time to raid.
The dangerous thing with the alliances in this game compared to other games is that defensive alliances, if someone attacks you, you always join the war. You're not declining alliances at defensive wars.
That's pretty cool.
So you can always trust people that to join.
To join into your war if you're being attacked.
I was going to talk about a little bit about this army. They're marching through the desert. And the desert is like, these are camels, so they're not all that bad. But we're getting...
Attrition from the desert?
Yeah. It's like, the supply limit there is shit. It's like 2 and 3
Oh,
and
wow.
so.
So we're already... Because the supply limit is only 2, our army cannot be sustained, hence we have attrition.
Yes, and desert always gives +1.
Okay.
So no matter what you're doing, you always get a...
you always get attrition down there.
Yes. Yeah, so let's tick forward. Oh.
Tick.
The Cyrenaica now, they want to import cloth from us. We're not exporting cloth already.
Okay.
So we can do that, and we get a nice bonus.
So we will have a bonus for our technology and research.
Yes.
That's pretty nice.
Now I also ticked in so that we are not going to trade away anything if we lose our capital.
Oh, so we still keep our surpluses within our capital to make sure we have enough.
Because if you have surplus in your capital, you get certain bonus. So we have that
That's
on
pretty
grain,
nice. Okay.
glass, vegetable. Glass gives us religious tech cost. Vegetables, cheaper to move slaves,
Okay.
which is good for us. Fish, happier freemen. And we're exporting grain, so we get manpower. We're exporting cloth, so we get the research points, which is good. If we're going back to technology, you see that our growth here is ticking fine.
That's
In
pretty nice.
457, we'll get that one. Religious in 457 as well.
And we have an envoy from the Hellenistic great power of Seleucid, which is... What do they want?
Import gemstones from one of our provinces, and like where our civilization level is increasing.
So civilization, remind me really quickly, what does the civilization level do exactly?
It's a cap in your country,
Okay.
and then different provinces have different civilization levels. If they're below the civilization level in your country, as it says here, it will slowly grow up. Civilization level immediately impacts your population growth in a province,
Okay.
reduces the barbarian growth.
Not
It
too
makes citizens really happy, freemen slightly happier, and tribesmen absolutely hate.
Oh goddamn! Time to convert the bloody tribesmen.
Yeah,
Damn.
well, but we could promote the tribesmen. So let's promote our tribesmen. That cost us 10.
Religion power.
Yeah, where do we want? It's like, yeah, we can have tribesmen on the borders, but not in the delta.
Exterminate. Exterminate.
It was not the genocide button. It was like promote them, give them money, and
Right. We're promoting them to a higher status.
yes.
Actually. Oh, well, there you go. They have a promotion.
Oh,
Oh, wow, what's that?
this is one of the cool events in the series, in the game.
The Wars of Diadochi. Let's go with Diadochi.
Yeah.
Diadochi, chat, please feel free to burn me.
Okay, so the Wars of Diadochi, it's a nice little description of like how all those friends were turned on each other after Alexander had accidentally died. You have, and when you get events here,
Yes.
you get portraits about characters that are impacted, the family name of them, so you can see like this is especially good when you have like internal events. So you can see which family is impacting. Then you can go tooltip and see like who else is a member of this family, so you can make
That's
good
super
decisions.
great. That's really great to keep tracks.
And of course flags, because who here does not like flags? Flags
Real
are cool.
flags.
Ptolemy here. This is us. Seleucus and Cator.
Our big friend.
Yes.
Antigone, the rival.
He's supposed to be one-eyed, because you can see on the picture here. That
Oh yeah,
is,
in the picture he's actually one-eyed.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. Do you think we can get that in the game?
I think we're getting that. The portrait should be able to.
That would be super sweet.
Cassander. Cassander is the one that has the reputation of being responsible for the death of
Alexander's son?
Alexander's son
Yes.
and heir. Lysimachus here is Alcimacides. He's the ruler of Thrace. This used to be like Alexander's empire. From here somewhere, all of Greece and Egypt and so, it was a huge empire.
Wow.
They split into basically 5 major players and a bunch of smaller states. Cassander took control of Macedonia. Thrace is Lysimachus.
Phrygia is Antigone.
Antigone is Antigone. Yeah, has the Phrygians. Seleucids have formed the Seleucid Empire. And then Egypt is Ptolemy. This is a great event. It's like we get claims on all of everything from like Greece, Assyria to Persis.
So we gain claims. What are claims?
Claims
exactly?
allow us to declare war without. It gives us a casus belli. We can declare war without having a stability hit.
A casus belli being a justification from war, and that
Yes.
comes from Latin or something.
Casus belli is Latin.
Case for war. Cool.
But these claims, they will disappear when this ruler dies.
So we can get claims from events, and we can also fabricate claims ourselves.
Yes.
That's also an FT treat. Everyone is asking for the end date of the game. Do we have one, Johan?
I think the date is technically when
Augustus
becomes
Emperor.
and then
Okay.
after that, there's no more imperators in the game. Actually, imperator is a title you give to Roman commanders.
Oh hell, I learned something. I
Yeah.
wasn't aware of that. That's super interesting. Okay.
I want to build my armies a little bit stronger, the core armies. I'm adding a few marchers, a few more heavy infantries.
Should we pick this Egypt stream next time, Johan? Because initially we had plans to showcase other things, but I think we're on a pretty solid run there.
Yeah, let's try an Egypt stream run next week.
Cool. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. It was a blast. Thank you so much, Johan.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll see you next week.
Cheers.
See ya.